Hello and welcome to Python for Everybody. I'm Charles Severance. I'm the author of the textbook, and we're going to do a little bit of code. If you want to get your hands on the code, go to the materials website, materials.php, materials.php, and download the sample code. The code that we're going to work on today is the XML code, and we need to be able to talk XML to work with web services. And so here's one of the examples from the book. It's xml1.py. And so later we'll be pulling XML and JSON from the web, but for now we're just going to put it in a triple-quoted string, so data. And we're going to use a built-in XML parser in Python called element tree. And when we say import XML eTree element tree as ET, this as ET gives us basically a shortcut handle for it. And so the idea, this is a string, it has less thans and greater thans. It looks like structured information, and it is, but really at this point it's only a string. Now we have to call this ET from string to read this and give us back a tree object. And what it does is this might blow up, this code might blow up right here if there was a mistake in it. Okay, and matter of fact, I can probably put a mistake in. Let's see if I can delete this and save it and run this code, and we'll see that it will blow up. Right? And so it blew up here in line 8. Element tree blew up, it blew up in line 12 of the code, which is right here. This failed because the line 8 of the XML string was wrong. So let's put that back in. So now it's properly formed XML. So this tree we get back, I name it tree just because I always name it tree, but you could name it X. So the key is tree.find goes and looks for a tag named find, and tree is no longer got less thans and greater thans in it. It is went and turned these into objects within objects within objects. So tree find name says I would like to find the tag name, and that's what this bit is right here. And then .text is going within that and grabbing that text. Okay. And if we say tree find.email, then that's going to give us this. And then that's that object. And then .get asks for the contents of the hide attribute, which is the string yes. Okay. And so if we run this, now that it's fixed, Python 3 xml1.py, it will pull in and get the name and the attribute. So it pulled the chuck out. And so you get this object and then you kind of dive into that object. And so that's xml1.py. If you've got a tag, you can either get the text out of the tag or you can get an attribute out of the tag. So now let's take a look at xml2.py. Again, we import element tree and we have a tag. And XML's always got to have a single outer tag. But this time we're going to have, in effect, a list. Now let's line this up a little better. There we go. That looks a little prettier. And so users, the fact that it's users doesn't mean anything, but we often come up with semantically meaningful names for these things. Users is going to have as its children a list of user tags. Okay, so the children under user, user under user, and then this has each of these as a tag. So we want to parse this, and this is a common thing we want to do. And so again, the first thing we do is we read the string to just take this. It's a triple quoted string going from here to here. And then we're going to, instead of doing find, which gives us one tag, we're going to do find all the users tag, the user tag that is a child of users. And we get back a Python list of the tags, not of the text, but of the tags. So there's a one tag and there is another tag. And so we can do len of that. So we can see that we got 2. And then we can write a for loop. And this item is going to iterate through the tags that are the user tags that are children of users. So the first time item is going to be this tag, a tag, remember. And then the second time it's going to be this tag. And so we can do things like find and get, just like we did with in XML1. So running this is not too exciting. Python 3 xml2.py. You see that there are 2 users. That comes from this print right here. There are 2 users in there. And the first one, if we go into name, and we go find the text within the name tag, within user. Then we get Chuck, and then we get the ID, which is 001. So we find the ID within that item, and then we get the text, and then we look and we grab the X attribute off of that. And so we see Chuck 001 and 2, and then in the next tag, the for loop continues, and we print that out. Okay? And so that's just a basic run through of the XML from the chapter in the Python book. Okay? Thanks.